Another live production here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and we are excited and thrilled to bring to you a new baby intact. It's actually going to be called the SWAC Zone. We'll be coming live to you each and every Thursday, 12 noon Central Standard Time to 1 p.m. We'll try to do some things and set some things up in a manner. We'll have live guests. As a matter of fact, I got somebody live with me right now, part of that, I guess, that awesome threesome. I've been leading them in the picks and everything, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'm going to introduce live right now the half portion of the Ben and Jack series, Brother Jack White. Brother White, how you doing, sir?
All right, and yourself?
All right. Do I hear Brother Ben in the background?
Yes, you do. You do.
All right.
I was able to catch him.
You was able to catch him. Well, I'm glad he was able to get caught because that's the only way he's going to catch up with us in these picks. But I don't have time to really give him a hard time about it. But what we can do is just get everything lined up. How you guys doing today, man?
Fine, sir.
Fine?
Doing good.
All right. Well, look, as they say, we're live and live in color. Jack, if you could, bring us up to speed because we're going to be really crushing with this. We got a little later start than we wanted to, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir, bring us up to speed.
All right. Our current pick totals, we have Dr. Prince in the lead at 35 correct picks. I jumped from last place to second place, so I'm coming in at second with 32 correct picks, and Ben went back to the third last spot that he's used to with 31 picks.
All right. I know Ben is holding and gritting his teeth. I thank you for that, Ben. I thank you for that. So, sir, if you could lead us into our picks for this week, man.
All right. So this week, our first game out the box is FAMU at Grambling. This one, FAMU is they're hitting on all cylinders, and I think they're going to win one on the road, 31-24.
Okay. I think FAMU are back on track. I can see them winning by the same 31, but I'm giving Grambling 17 on this one.
Yeah, Ben, are you able to say a pick?
Yes, I'm going to take FAMU. I think it's going to be closer than what y'all suggest. I got a little cold. I'm sorry. I'm going to say 28-14. No, 21-14 FAMU.
21-14 FAMU. Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. All right. Our next matchup, we have Mississippi Valley State at Alabama State. With everything going on with Jackson State and ASU last week, I think ASU has a little chip on their shoulder. It's going to play with some anxiety and so forth. So I'm saying ASU 17-7.
ASU 17-7. I'm going to pick ASU as well. Thinking more 24-7. ASU.
Where's that game being played?
At ASU.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say ASU 17-14.
All right. Our next matchup, we have Jackson State at Bethune-Cookman. JSU has just been dominating, and like I said last week, with all the excitement between the coaches, with the handshake and so forth, I think JSU is playing with a chip on their shoulder as well. So I say JSU 41-17.
41-17. I'm picking JSU, and I am going to pick the 42 number, and I'm saying 42-14 JSU.
I'm going to say it's going to be JSU 35-14.
Okay.
All right. Not sure what our game of the week is, but this one's a a good one. Alcorn State at Southern. And do we know which one is our game of the week?
I hate to say it, but it'll be this game.
Why you hate to say it, man? He said bling, bling, bling. Why you hate to say it, man?
No comment, sir. Just no comment.
Okay.
I'm still a little down. A
little Debbie Downer?
Yeah.
It's going to be all right, though, brother. We shall.
Do you have a over and under on this one?
I'm going to say 60.
60?
60.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to go against the grain and say Alcorn wins on the road at Southern 30-28. So I'm at the under.
You're at the under 30-28, huh? I'm picking the Braves as well. I'm thinking 31 for Alcorn. And I will say 24 for Southern.
So y'all both are picking Alcorn, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to even do this, but in order for me to jump back in the league, I have to pick Dooley.
Who does Dooley coach? Who does Dooley coach?
I'm just saying Dooley. And I'm going to say the score is going to be 35-31.
35-31, Dooley, huh?
Dooley.
Okay, Dooley noted that he's picking Dooley.
In our last matchup for Week 7, we have Alabama A&M at Arkansas Pine Bluff. This matchup, I was early on. I was on the bandwagon for Arkansas Pine Bluff, but they just are not showing me anything. So I say Alabama A&M wins this one easy, 31-17 on the road.
Okay, Alabama A&M will be victorious in this. I'm saying 28-14. Alabama A&M.
I'm going for a buster, whatever. I'm going to take Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yee.
21-14.
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Right.
Okay, 21-14. Wow. All righty then. Well, okay, Ben.
It can't get no worse.
It can't get no worse? Yeah, it can.
No. Yeah.
You don't think it get no worse, Ben?
I pray not.
You pray not. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for helping us get this segment off the ground live. And it's, it's all kind of challenges that go live, but that's why we do, right?
Correct.
Okay. Any closing thoughts and comments, sir, before we tally on out of here?
I have no comments this week, sir.
You have no comments this week?
And
okay.
I don't as well.
You don't as well. All right, gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining us on this first segment here of the SWAC Zone live here on Thursdays, 12 to 1 Central Standard Time. Gentlemen, you guys have a productive week. We'll talk to you real soon, okay?
All right.
All right. Thanks.
All right, there was the picks of the week. We're going to take us a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Carlos James, who is the voice of the Golden Lions, and he is also the head baseball coach. So stay right where you got it. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are live here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network with the SWAC Zone. Our next guest is longtime brother. Been knowing him, man, I forgot now. It's been a while. But he is carrying multiple hats. He is the native son in the Pine Bluff area. He is the head baseball coach as well as the voice for the Golden Lions. That is none other than Carlos James. How you doing today, my man?
What's going on, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing fine, brother. I'm doing fine. I'm doing real fine. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear your voice, man.
Man, it's good to be heard.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right. Well, look, I know that you've been dealing with some challenges health-wise, and everything is okay with that, though, right?
Yeah, we're going pretty good, man. I'm about 90% healthy, and we'll see how it goes as we get closer towards the season.
Okay. Now, a major, it's major to me because I'm SWAC guy, right? I'm in and out SWAC.
Gotcha.
Your game against Arkansas Pine Bluff was supposed to be the River Classic, and it has been transferred. It was supposed to be in St. Louis, Missouri, but now it's going to be at the Golden Lions Den. Can you bring us up to speed?
Yeah. I mean, we were planning on having a game in St. Louis this weekend at the America's Dome. I think that's what it's called. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, we have to shift gears and pivot, so to speak, and host Alabama A&M here in Pine Bluff at Simmons Bank Stadium here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So, things like that happen. When you get promoters and people involved like that, sometimes it happens that way. But the good thing about it is both administrations from Alabama A&M and Arkansas Pine Bluff, they did a good pivot. And, we could still play the conference game as scheduled, but just in a different venue. So it'll still work out the way, we plan.
Okay, and it'll still be on Sunday at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, still on Sunday at 3 p.m. Plus, anybody that bought tickets to the event in St. Louis, whether it's through Ticketmaster or UAPB, your tickets will be honored. If you want a refund, from what I understand, you can get a refund as well from you have to go through Ticketmaster if you bought Ticketmaster tickets, and if you bought tickets from UAPB, there's a refund that you can get as well, because I think the ticket prices were about $25 more at the Dome than at UAPB. So those are things that fans can do to kind of offset what happened. It's an unfortunate situation, but, the game has to be played, and, both universities did the best they could to make sure that happened.
Now, with you being a head coach for baseball, and it's a lot of moving parts in both sports, how detrimental do you think this would be as far as, having your mindset or your travel plans to be in one direction? As you say, you have to hit that pivot to come back and play at home, and then your game day operation people, you probably got to scribe them up, because when people here in St. Louis, they kind of chill for the weekend and get other plans. So that's got to be a little nerve-wracking right about now too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's always pretty nerve-wracking when you have to make a pivot, when you talk about college athletics, but in the same sense, you have your staff that would have probably went to St. Louis anyway and did work. So the good thing is, instead of spending that money going on the road, we have them at home. I think the only thing that we're trying to get back in place now is, we live stream our games on our network, on our internet, and just trying to get those people back in line so that they can be at Golden Line Stadium and be able to run that, so people can actually see the game and listen to the game as well.
Okay, and I'm glad you opened that door, sir. First, before we get into details on how they can listen, how did you end up becoming the voice for the Golden Lions football team?
I'm not necessarily the voice, but I do color commentating for the football program. I started out actually doing high school. I do high school actually with our actual commentator, which is LeBron Marbley, about 2 years ago. And then it just kind of stuck. I filled in one day last year at the UAPB game, and they just kept me, So football is my first love, my first passion. I only got into baseball because I got drafted out of high school. But if I had to say what I am, I'm an actual football player. I enjoy the game. To be honest with you, I almost took a head coaching job coaching high school football.
Okay.
At one last year, before I got ill, but because I like football, a lot. Not saying that I don't cherish baseball and I enjoy doing it. But one thing about me is I found out God wanted me to be fruitful, and I have a lot of talent that He gave me, and football is one of them that I enjoy talking about, commentating about, and strategizing about. So it's pretty good for me, getting on air and I get to talk football, talk strategy, and things like that. So it's pretty cool, and I get paid. So hey,
I know that's right. That's the bonus, right? Ching ching.
Yeah, I was going to the game anyway, talking about the game, to whoever I'm sitting beside. So I might as well get paid to do it.
Yes, sir. Now, look, I'm gonna remind you. You got a break on the open mic with some baseball broadcasting too, though. So I like to say we helped you get ready for your broadcasting debut.
You and I did the SWAC tournament, 2015.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a good time with that, man. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that is part of my break. So once I get to Channel 11 or 7 or CBS, I'll give you a shout out.
You give me a shout out. Well, you know what? Keep on keeping on, brother. I had some people ask me about did I desire to go to that 4-letter network. I told them, no, man. I am that for us, and I enjoy it so much. It's a passion that I do each and every day with thrills. It's never a labor. It's always going to be a labor of love. So I feel you on that, man. And I'm guessing wide receiver, tight end is what you played.
Yeah, I actually played all that: wide receiver, tight end, free safety, corner. I was the second string quarterback, and I did all the kicking and the punt. Kick field goals. I averaged 45 yards a punt. Kick extra points. I kind of did everything, man.
I'm about to give you a hard time. You must have been in an old 1A or 6-man football program.
No, I played in the highest classification in Arkansas and the 22nd winningest program in the country right now. So I played good football.
Okay.
So like I said, I just got drafted in baseball, so I just said, you know what, I'll leave it alone. And even when I came out of JUCO, Oklahoma State asked me to come and play football, and then same thing when I went to Arkansas. They wanted me to play, but I've been 2 years removed from the game, so I was like, you know what, I'll just stick with baseball.
Right, I know that's right. Save them bones, brother, save them bones. Now, speaking of football, it's almost like night and day from the spring of 2020 to where the Golden Line program is right now. And it's hard for people, especially if they're fans of the program. Can you pinpoint what exactly is going on at the Den, inside the Den?
Well, it's one of those things where it's the Coach Prime effect for us. We're on the smaller end of the SWAC, for as finances and things like that, and just location. And then you get a person like Dion, Coach Prime come in and they pulling kids from Power 5s to the portal, and then you get your blue blood programs like your Southern and your Grambling and your Alcorn States and things like that. Not to mention Prairie View, Alabama State. They're gonna command those players a little bit faster than we do. Whereas we probably got a better team than we had in spring 20 because we did recruit pretty well, but you can't put high school players and JUCO players up against Power 5 guys. It's just what it is. So it's a slower build for us than everybody else. And Coach Gamble just, he's doing what he can with what he has. So, I mean, we got a nice stadium and all that, but, it's a pecking order right now at SWAC. So, eventually, hopefully we'll make some strides here in the next year or so and get back to at least the middle of the pack.
Right. Now, and you definitely see it even tighter on the baseball side of things. The 11.7 that is, supposed to be across the board, and they're trying to change that now to Power 5 to 22 so they can create even more degrees of separation. It builds, I can imagine, a frustration to a degree, and as you stated, you work with what you got, but it also makes you a bit creative too, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to be creative in what you do. But, right now, the SWAC used to be a skill position league, cornerbacks, wide receivers, quarterbacks. Now with Coach Prime and what Jackson State's doing, it's becoming a line of scrimmage league, just like the Power 5. You got to be big up front, and you got to have a lot of guys on offense and defensive line that can, move people, and create space and things like that, get time for your quarterback and all that. So the game has drastically changed pretty quick in the last 18 months, since his arrival. And the schools that understand that, you got to understand, too, it costs you more to get really good line. Just like in baseball, it's going to cost you more to get really good pitching. So that's one of the things that, we're going to have to pivot. I always use the word pivot, but pivot and adjust at Pine Bluff that, we got to figure out a way to get us some big old offensive linemen, defensive linemen that can go up against those guys that are coming out of the Power 5 because, unlike baseball, and you and I always talk about it, football's a different animal when you come from Power 5 back down because of the strength and the size of the guys. When in baseball, you really push up against nobody, so it always gives us a chance to be successful, at any given time. But in football, it is what it is. You running 260-pound, 270-pound linemen, or even 300-pound linemen that are not in shape against guys that are 6'5", 270, 280, and no fat on them and strong, you're going to get beat.
No doubt. Now, let me ask you this because I've been an advocate for this conference for quite a long time, over 30 years easily. And, this is just me, and maybe I'm just old school, I'm an old fogey. And I hear a lot of people, they talk about facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they are needed.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they do make a difference. But when we know what we're up against as HBCUs, as a SWAC conference program, and the reality that is, we can talk a whole bunch of what we need, but you got to deal with what you got, right?
Correct.
And I don't know the answer, and maybe you're about to help me get some clarity. Wouldn't it make more sense to spend money on things that you can control, like nutrition and weight programs or weight training, to build up what you do have? Or am I kind of in left field?
No, I think you're totally right. It's one of those deals for me. I look at it from an administrative point of view when I say that. If I'm building if I'm an AD somewhere, I'm gonna make sure first of all, make sure all my coaches are well paid, and be able to compete with my mid-major schools and pay. Because one thing I've learned as a coach, you're only as good as the people that surround you. And one thing I found where I've been in SWAC, and it's only been at Pine Bluff, and I've been at a smaller D2 school, is when you have coaches that you can pay a nice salary that make more than high school coaches and can come into your town and say, you know what, I can move my family here, I can be here for three to 5 years. Then you build some continuity in your program, you build continuity in your recruiting, you build continuity in just, your schemes and things like that. Well, what I've seen since I've been in the SWAC at my school, I can only speak for my school, is the fact that, our assistant coaches not paid a lot, and they come and go just like the seasons do. And it's hard to build something when the head coach is always constantly trying to establish his program every year, like this is what we do, and he has to teach coaches. Well, if he's having to teach the coaches, and then the coaches teach the players, and then by the time you get it all settled, and you can recruit this freshman class or these JUCO guys come in, and now those coaches leave, and now you got to teach it all over again, which don't give you any continuity. So I would start there first, salaries, and then staff. Staffing. Strength and conditioning program. Having more than one strength and conditioning coach. Throughout all sports, having an actual staff. Same thing with a training staff. Having people that can take care of your kids before they get injured, and have the facilities and the things you need within that department to be able to take care of those student athletes, and their health. So yeah, you're right on. I think what you're thinking. It starts with those type things. And then if you build that, then of course, like our old saying goes, if you build that, then they'll come. Because every kid walk in there with their parent now, with everything being about all the metrics and the numbers and things like that. They want to know that, hey, one, how long this staff been together? Where they come from? Are they leaving or what have you? Can my kid get bigger, stronger, faster? If he does or she does get hurt, can y'all get them back on the field? So those are some of the things I think that we have lacked. I know at our place, but I've also seen it around the conference. So you're right on.
Well, I try to simplify things so you can maximize things, if that makes any sense. Because, we know it's a moving target. APR is probably one of the biggest frauds in NCAA history, and it sets you back because you're trying to chase this moving target, and then as soon as you think you're at a place, we're going to raise up just a little bit more, since you got a little comfortable with that. And when it comes to these stadiums, okay, I'm talking baseball, football stadium, and when we're in football season, so I'll stick with football.
Okay.
I believe, because of the nature of how HBCUs operate, when I say the nature of how they operate, budgets, availability, and fan support. But let's be honest, fan support is a challenge, and I don't care what school you're at. I don't care what school you're at. It's a challenge. I think that as far as football stadiums go, you shouldn't exceed 12,000 seats. You shouldn't exceed 12,000 seats. And the reason I say that, it kills your brand, especially with all this streaming right now. It kills your brand to be in a 25,000, 30,000, 50,000 seat stadium, and people are not coming. You're defeating the purpose. Okay, if you're building a nice, I'm not talking about just some junk, but a nice 10 to 12,000 seat stadium, and you got a nutritional program and a system to help these kids get bigger, stronger, healthier, teach them habits when they get older, like I am. I can't say you're still a young pup, but when they get older, that they won't have some of these challenges in life health-wise. You got what I'm saying? It's about planting that seed, because we know there's only going to be a small percentage that these guys play, whatever sport it is that they play. Then they have the rest of their life to live. But it's like we're trying to keep up with folks who don't want us to keep up with them. What's wrong with maximizing who we are, where we are? And, I hear, certain saying that we need to get paid the $1.5 million per school. Well, that's not going to happen on our level because we're not FBS, for number one. So, and the paydays are really fading fast, because with these super conference buildings and these RPIs, we're going to come even more sacred. They're not going to play us any longer. They're not going to play us. So we have to start digging within. I can't speak to every school, but I don't think there's enough local community involvement with our universities to aid our programs. We look for that big fish, that big sponsor, when you got a cluster of sponsors who can make a difference to your program.
Well, for me, I think you're kind of right on right there. But what I look at is, one thing I would go is like, okay, why are our people not coming to the game? That would be number one. Number two for me would be for, generating money and things like that is just trying to get our alumni to understand if we want big dollars from our corporations that are in our town or in our state, we have to give more. One thing I've found out in raising money, at UAPB for our stadium and things like that is people only give to people that give on that level. It's like if I'm rich, I'm not going to give Mike Prince $2 million if Mike Prince's association is only raising $2,000. Because I don't want to fund it. I want to actually help you. So I think we have to understand that at our HBCUs that we have to have more giving, because I've read, like, at our place at one point, we had something like maybe 15,000, 16,000 people on the alumni register, and only 11% of them was given. A person that a corporation that has money, I'm not going to give you more than what you're giving yourself, right? Or if you was raising $2 million a year, then I may come in and give you $1 million. But if you're raising $600,000, I'm only write you a check for $50.
Right.
Because I don't want to fund it. I don't want you to count me in every year, but I want to help you. So it just like you always say, how HBCUs do business. We have to understand that our college campuses are businesses now, and we have to carry ourselves and reflect that as such. Even when you're talking about regular students and how they're treated, because they're customers. Everybody has financial aid problems, things like that. Ready for classes, and then you get in class, and then all of a sudden they kick you out of class. Well, all that stuff matters when you're talking about alumni giving back. It's about the experience at the college. So I think we need to do a better job of giving our students and our student athletes a better enjoyment at the college, a better way of life when they get to school. Treat them better. Because we're no longer in the days where the HBCUs are just all the black kids going to go to HBCUs. Now we have to compete against, PWI schools and other smaller white schools in our area for students now, where all the kids used to black. Yeah, you just go to the black school. Well, we have to have things on our campuses that reflect that and have our kids that want to come to our schools as well.
No doubt about it. We're talking right now with Carlos James, the multi-talented Carlos James, color analyst for UAPB football, head baseball coach, and somewhat of an activist. You're kind of an activist, man. I like that.
AD one day, a president.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All I say is don't forget me when you get there, man.
I know, right?
Right. Don't forget me when you get there. Now, look, we see these challenges, and I believe that shade from a toothpick beats nothing at all when you're in the middle of a desert.
Okay.
So I said that to say this. Once again, when we're talking about giving, what year was Pine Bluff founded?
1872, I think that's what it was.
1872? Okay. If you start off with a simple approach, you said you had 17,000 in the alumni base and about 11%. Huh?
Like 15,000. I think it was like 15,000.
Okay, so about 11% is given back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So focus on that 11%. That's roughly about 15,000, almost 16,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's given. And wouldn't it be nice if you could encourage?
Well, actually, it's about 6,000 people.
Huh?
It's not.
It's how many?
Out of 15,000, 11%, about 10% is like what, 1,500?
Right. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when you look at it like that, the $18.72, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give that on the principle of your beloved university.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whether you do it monthly, bi-monthly, even annually, but get committed to doing that. And that 1,500, 1,600 people given that, and that people eat that for lunch.
Yeah.
They eat that for lunch. Start there. You get what I'm saying? And you'll be amazed at what you can build from that. You know, those saying if you build it, they'll come, like you referred to earlier. But when we look past those type of donations, you know, we want that corporate sponsor, but until we learn how to court that corporate sponsor, when that corporate sponsor sees that, okay, they got 1,600 people giving basically $20 to round it off, maybe that's all they can afford. You know, it might encourage them to want to drop from their 50 to 100. But you, like you said, you got to start somewhere. You got to get it somewhere. And look, we ain't gonna make this a political. Well, we can make it political if we want to because it's swac all around.
Well, Mike, what I also see, what I've seen is because I went to a PWI, you know, and I ended up graduating JPB, and what I've seen, you know, I coached at a PWI and then I coached at UAPB, so I've gotten to see it from both sides. One thing I've noticed when I was at my PWI is for the bigger corporations, our ADs and presidents, they engage those corporations daily, like form relationships with them. Being at HBCU is more or less what I've seen. I can only speak for what I've seen. I can't speak for nobody else's school and nothing like that. But what I've seen is we don't engage them unless we want something.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, hey, you know, big time corporation, I need $1 million. Well, that corporation throws golf tournaments during the year. They have functions and things. We don't go to them, right? And then all of a sudden you want to go, hey, I need this. Well, I can go back to my own experience in building the stadium that we had. You know, we had a banquet at the governor's mansion all the time, right, that he allowed us to have here in Arkansas. Well, when the governor had auctions and things like that at the governor's mansion, I always went. So when I needed that extra $300,000 to finish the build of our locker rooms and coach's office and stuff like that, he saw me at those events. I even bought some stuff at auction and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Just to them see, like, hey, I'm forming a relationship. I go to golf tournaments and things like that on a regular basis and keep in touch with my donors. You know, so when I need something, they call me and go, hey, don't you need this? You need this money? You know, you need to do this.
Right.
What you? Because I formed a relationship with them, and I'm not just throwing my hands out, and I don't forget about them. I write them a note. Hey, thank you for the donation. Hey, here goes some tickets if you ever in the game, or you know, if I got connections everywhere else. Hey, you in Houston, my agent can get you tickets to the Astros game. You know, it's forming relationships. I think that helps you get more money on the outside. And then, you know, as we are, the more we see, the more we get, because we want to be a part of something. So I think it just starts with relationships.
No doubt. Well, it's the key. The old saying is people give to people. They don't give to organizations. They give to people.
Exactly.
I like Carlos. Carlos is connected to this organization. I'm going to help Carlos out. But once again, and so I've called it the lazy fundraising for AD. Is to go schedule money games. Go schedule money games. And you schedule these money games, and they're drying up, brother. They are drying up, and they might as well smell the coffee right now. It's no return to that because they're going to be like, go ahead.
But even, Mike, I can just speak from my own experience. Like, I get more money in baseball for money games than most people do because of my relationship.
Right.
You know, I can go, like, one year we went to Oregon, right? I came back with $35,000.
Yeah, and that's huge. A lot of people don't understand. Let me help people out. Let me help people out for a minute because you just said something dynamic right there. Okay, most people, you're not getting money games like you do in football. Football, correct. I think it's a cap of maybe 450,000 that you can get on our level. In baseball, traditionally, if you could get $5,000, you're doing good. Okay, most cases it's $2,500, $1,500. and some pizzas or some sandwiches while you get back on the bus to feel.
Right.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I had never been in a situation other than going an hour up the road, even an hour up the road to Little Rock. I'd make $2,500, and I don't even stay.
Right.
You know, it's like I don't move my bus for less than 40 or 60% of the trip. You know, but that's just relationships, and it's doing business.
Absolutely.
You know, I went to Alabama and made $16,000. You know, and they pay for rooms, buses, everything. Oklahoma, same thing. It's for me to go to Oklahoma. It's $3,000 a game for me, plus rooms, meals. You know, so many meals and things like that. So it's about, to me, it's about being professional and having relationships with people, and not just calling something.
Yes, sir. So you say you working on becoming an AD, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well,
because
keep that in mind.
I think I can make a difference somewhere because of the connections and the knowledge that I have of athletics as a whole. And like you say, it's about building it a different way. We've seen this other model in HBCU, and it don't work. I mean, it used to work, but it don't work anymore. And what we have to do is we have to kind of pivot and go, okay, so what's our thing now? It's athletics is your front door now, HBCU. It's not academics anymore. You know, it used to be academics when that's all we had. Well, we don't have that anymore. So now you got to promote your athletic program, your coaches. Even when you're hiring coaches, they got to be dynamic. They got to be able to go out and speak, and they got to be able to capture people because you got to put them out there because that's what people want. Right. You know, it's no longer that at HBCUs it's like the president is the known person. Well, name the president at Alabama or the AD. Mm-hmm. You don't even know who they are.
Right.
So we have to, not saying be like them, but there's some things that we can pull and go, okay, this is how the game's being played right now, and let's kind of make some adjustments to fit us, like you say. I mean, I may not build like at Golden Lion Stadium, it's 12,000. You know, my job would be, our job is to fill that, and we don't have to build a 25,000 seat stadium because I don't have Coach Prime as my coach. You know,
right. Well, you referred to Coach Sanders a couple of times, and I am assuming from the enthusiasm that I'm hearing, are you okay with the way he's been operating his program?
Of course. At first, I was a little hesitant. And I thought maybe it may be just about him. But what I've found, just watching him and watching how everything's been going, he's doing a good job of shedding the light on some of the things that we need and how we go about doing things. And that's not a bad thing. You know, of course, he's who he is, and I can't fault him for that because we all competitive. We got a little brashness in us, but I do like the way he does things. With the videos and getting out, talking to people and things like that, and getting those companies and stuff to come in. I think that helps all of us, to be honest with you, because now if they, meaning the outside corporations, see that, you know what, if it works over here, right, and with the way diversity and racial tensions are now, you're going to have other companies going, well, you know what, I need to get in on that. I can't get in at Jackson, but I may get in at Prairie View because I don't want to look bad to my constituents either that, these guys over here doing this for Jackson, and I can't do this in my own hometown for Prairie View or UAPB.
So when you say, I didn't mean to cut you off, when you say you feel that the Deion factor has benefited you at Pine Bluff?
Yes.
In what way?
Yeah, and just the notoriety, the more notoriety of HBCUs, and that, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, track, or whatever, it is a place for our kids and other kids that want to come down and play. They can do it and still get to where they need to go. Okay. But it's just one of those things where, for a long time, I felt like the HBCUs were overshadowed, and we didn't have a voice. Even though, I was screaming loud when I first got here because the first thing people tell me, you can't do it like this. That's how they do it at the white school. Well, he's doing the same thing and is working at the black school.
Right. Right.
You know, so I went through that one
at
the Palm Bluff.
Is there? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I went through that when I got to Palm Bluff, coming from Arkansas Monticello, which was a white school. Like, oh, you can't do that like this. This is, that's a white school. We do this way. Well, just because it's white don't make it right. Right make it right, right? Right. And that's all I want to do. And I see from looking at him, that's what he does. He just want to do it right. Now, of course, like you said, we don't have everything to have, and we're not going to have everything to have, but the structure should be better.
No doubt about that. Structure and the discipline. Now, in my opinion, now you say you're heading in that direction. We're too top-heavy at our HBCU institutions. And when I say that, the presidents get paid well, ADs get paid well, they get stingy on coaches, they get stingy on budgets. Everybody now wants to, with some hookahs or whatever they're smoking now, that and some Cavassier or a cigar, and they want to look and hobnob when they're really stealing money, if the truth be told. Because when I say stealing money, what are you doing to be worthy of earning the income that you're earning, if that makes any sense? And so when we look at these things and doing it right, and brother, I've been broadcasting for a long time, right? Former microphone, and you would think, I'm a PV guy, but I've covered, when I do cover every school in this conference, not just one or two, but every school in this conference. If we're talking about doing it right? What's wrong with supporting the media that's been supporting you, and then people get excited when other folks show up and act like we didn't know what we was doing?
Correct. And I do sympathize with you with that. We don't, again, that's part of structure. Like, we don't use what we have effectively. Just like at Palm Bluff, I can only speak for Palm Bluff because I'm here. We have our own TV station and radio station, but I do radio on 99.3, right? Instead of doing it off of 89.7, which is our own radio station. We have our own TV station, but we stream live from somebody else. Why we don't stream live and put it on our own TV station? That to me, that's a waste. That's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And I'm paying these people on my campus to have these different entities, but I'm outsourcing to somebody else in athletics. The same way with concession stands. I mean, you see it. Why I can't run my own concession stand and make my own money? I got to outsource another company that's going to make me pay. For instance, for a bottle of Gatorade, they're going to make me pay $6 a bottle almost, where I can go to the store or get my own contract and get it for $1.
Right.
And sell it for $3.
Right.
But if I'm getting it for $6 from them, or $4 from them, I got to sell it for $5 or $6 in the stands. Now I'm only making $2. It's that.
Right. Well, they talk about a game day experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need a better game day experience. And I'm going to ask you how is, let's say, a crisp fall football day, kickoff at 3 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever the case may be. I've been to Pine Bluff. I like your state.
Mm-hmm.
When you show up there, what opportunities do you have at the stadium to purchase paraphernalia representing Golden Lion? Whether it's a T-shirt, a cap, the little flag, a pom-pom, anything?
No. Very, very few. And then that's only on certain days. I know homecoming you can.
Right.
But my thing is, I'm in the mind of having my own store.
That's what I'm talking about.
And online, where everybody wears, like in your case, in my case, Adidas, right? And if you're going to get some with the same shirts the coaches got and the players, warm-ups and all that, you can go get it at our store at the stadium or on campus somewhere.
Yes.
But we have bookstores that sell their own brand of our stuff.
Yep.
That don't make sense to me at all.
And see, it's about getting a little bit from everywhere possible. I don't have to take the whole dollar from Carlos. If I can get 20 cents from Carlos, I get 20 cents from Bobby, and I'm going down the system because you got to eat. We all got to eat, right?
Right.
So why not let's just learn how to maximize what you have available to you. And, we look on television, we see the big boy programs, and we long for that. Man, we could be executing on a high level like that, just be a smaller scale.
Hey, man, I'm with you.
A smaller scale. So look, man, we're going to have to keep you coming on here because I like these type of conversations where you're free to flow. Let's dive into your baseball program real quickly. It's fall ball, and you're wrapping things up. You got any hidden scud missiles, man, on your diamond?
Yeah, actually we do. We had 3 guys last year, 3 pitchers that were out all last year, for various reasons. One couple because to injury and things like that we got back for this year, which is good. We're not very deep in our pitching, but we're better than we were last year. We got some guys that can throw it. Again, those 3 guys that I'm talking about, got Jordan Jones out of Texas. He's back this year. He got hit with a ball last year in the eye prior to the season, and long recovery. So he'll be back in the spring. And he's a guy that's going to throw the ball in the low 90s. We got a kid named Jacob Riordan. Last year, just transferred in from Georgia State. Some things happened. He wasn't able to pitch, but he's going to be anywhere from 94, 95 off the bump. We got a kid named Jacob Ealing, too, coming off of injury. He's not a hard thrower, but he's got a lot of pitchability. And then, we added some guys. Our team basically is brand new this year. We only got 5 guys returning from last year because, some of them transfer portal and things like that. But I feel that we got a lot better on the mound and, on the field. I think this is our shortstop we got this year. Isaiah Cohen comes from Gonzaga by way of Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. He's really, really good. So our shortstop from last year moved over to second. We've added speed in the outfield for a change. I've been really jealous of Gramblin's outfield since I've been in the class because they're very, very good at what they do and they're fast. So I finally got some guys that can do that. Got a kid named Carlos. Carlos last name. But anyway, come back last year. He was a freshman. I think he's going to be a draft guy at some point. Carlos Rodriguez, I think is the last name. He should be a draft guy. We got some more guys like Lawrence Noble. I think he's shown in the fall that he got power and he's been able to bunt the ball and things like that and get on base. We got a graduate coming back, Brendan Simon. Hit 336 last year. So, we got some guys that's going to make us a lot better. And the main thing I'm really, really excited about is we just hired a pitching coach for the first time I've had one.
Wow.
And his name is Shane Human. Shane Human actually pitched in the big leagues for the Rangers. Who else did he pitch for? The Pirates. He was on the 2000 National Championship team with LSU. African-American guy. So I'm excited about him, and like I told him, like this year, he only got here last couple of weeks ago. But, I'm not going to hold this pitching staff to him. But the guys that he has been in contact with down the road is going to make us a force in the years to come.
Okay. Well, that's always exciting. You can never have too much baseball as far as I'm concerned. And when you look at that, the growth in the direction of the baseball programs throughout the conference,
Yeah.
Are you still the liaison as far as that it goes, and how you liking the way it's going?
No, I'm not the liaison. Coach Vasquez at Alabama State is, and he does a really good job in that role as well. But as the program's on the rise, I'm just going to tell you right now, people don't want to hear it, but SWAC is a baseball conference. It is. Me and you always talked about it could be, but right now it is. To me, it's the only sport that can actually go out and compete and win against the bigger schools. It is it. We've seen some individual things with track, yes, but as a whole, baseball is the sport in the SWAC, because we've gotten to the point where adding Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, and as well as the programs that are getting in the conference and getting so much better, that I'm telling you right now, if we went head-to-head against OVC or the Southland, I'm pretty sure we're going to come out with the victory. If we lined up and we all played, we're going to beat them.
Going to beat them convincingly.
Well, I wouldn't say convincingly right now, because we're not just quite there yet, but we're going to win the head-to-head battles as a whole. If our 12 schools line up against them, we're going to probably win at least 7 or 8 of those on the weekend, because we got teams that are that good on the mound. I mean, look what Prairie, look what y'all did. Alabama State always go. Alabama A&M is coming. They coming. Watch out for Alcorn State and their coach. Give them some time. They're going to build. Grambling is always solid, and not to mention I always call them the blue bloods, the Jacksons, the Southerns, schools like that. Alabama State. So SWAC baseball, and not to mention Bethune, is pretty daggum good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's exciting to be a part of it. Now, with all these, how you able to manage and do all that you're doing?
Again, hiring an extra assistant coach for a change. Finally having 2 guys, and then I've already put in place my replacement. Which is a graduate assistant of mine named Braylon Hint, which played for me. He graduated last year, and to me, I've pegged him to be my replacement at some point, and I'm grooming him. Having him out there has been huge. So that's one thing that I do differently from everybody else. Wherever I go, I always try to groom my successor.
Right.
Right. Because I just think that's good leadership.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you got a plan for life without you, because guess what? Life will be without us one day, right?
Ain't that the truth?
They'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember him. What's up? What's for dinner?
But my thing is, I want to be remembered for what I left.
Yes,
not
sir.
who I am. So you always prepare people to be able to run it without you. Like I tell my assistant coaches and now with Braylon, I go, I don't have to be here for it to run. I shouldn't have to. Right. And if I got to be here for it to run crisply every day, then I got to get rid of the people that's around me.
Yes, sir.
That's in everything you do.
Yes, sir.
Everything goes back to our conversation earlier about, for me, and what you talked about is our structure, setting up our staff and stuff in our athletic program. If I'm the AD, I shouldn't have to worry about academics or coaching or things like that. I coach them. I lead everybody else. And if I'm not there, I can go out and raise money because I know it's going to run. And if the people that I got in place can't run the facility of the place where I'm not there, then I'm going to replace them.
Right. Well, you better, or you're going to be replaced. But that's another thing too. That's another thing too, though. And okay, might as well get it on out. Our ADs are handicapped. They're handicapped by, I almost said principals, by presidents who don't understand the dynamics of athletics. Are you still with me, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, that sounded like I heard a clip. But they got presidents that don't care, don't understand, or not, interested at all. And it's killing us because I see an athletic director as the athletic expert, right? He goes and assesses, talks to his coaches, see what the need, see what the want is, and then you go with your wish list, your want budget, your need budget. You fight for everything that you can get. You're not going to get everything that you need. I mean, everything that you want, but you should have at least everything that you need. And we just rubber stamp stuff. Okay,
well,
go ahead. Go.
Well, my take on that is, and I may get in trouble for this, but, it is what it is. I think God pays me anyway. But my thing on this is, one, you don't take a job where you can't do your job, no matter how much money it is. That's one, right? Am I right?
Right.
Two, being at an HBCU, because you have to be a little bit more hands-on because you don't have all the staff and things you need, I think you should hire somebody that has had boots on the ground, that's been ran a program, that's been a head coach, that's been rode that bus, that's been in study hall and things like that, so that you can know when things are not right, or you know how things should go, or the little tweaks and things you can do in your athletic program because you've done it before yourself.
Right.
Then you can have a better structured program for your school, being it small, and you don't have all the resources to hire all these people. But if you've done it, then you can better manage it from a point of view of you've done it before. It's hard to take instructions from people that don't understand what you go through.
Right.
Just like, just for instance, just say a bus, right? And if I got a bus in our school, just say I'm at school G, and we got buses. Well, I'm going to make sure as an AD that my buses got satellite on and Wi-Fi, because I know I've been on that bus, and if I go to Prairie View, I'm going to be on the bus 16 hours going and coming.
Right.
So I'm going to make sure that those student-athletes got Wi-Fi on that bus and it works properly, and I'm going to make sure they got TV so they can watch TV and be a little bit comfortable. And in baseball case, I'm probably going to let them travel on 2 buses instead of 1 because they got 35 people plus trainers and coaches. So you don't need them all piled up if you want them to be successful on the field.
Yes.
And I'm going to make sure that they eat right and things like that. They sleep right, the whole 9, because I've done that. I've been there before. I'm going to make sure they got the right gear and the whole 9, So I think it's just hiring somebody that actually, like you said, that's really an expert and understand not only that part of it, but the scheduling part of it and how to raise money, how to keep those relationships that you do have raising money going and get other people involved. I think with our fans, it's just one of those things where they have to be appreciated more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And,
no doubt.
If you buy season tickets from me, I'm going to make sure you got a warm-up and a T-shirt or a hat or something, because at that point when I call on you and I really need to do a capital raising fund, then you're going to say, well, you know what? Coach thought about it. Right. You know what I mean? Coach came by and dropped, he talked about some tickets by here.
Yes, sir.
He gave me a T-shirt. He gave me a collar shirt that he wears, so it's about relationships.
Yes, sir. Well,
yeah.
My magic question is, how do you get past all the red tape to get these things done? You got a president. I'm not saying in your case. But,
You
got a president that's sitting down.
But to me, you set that president coming in, or you just don't take the job.
Right.
It's just me. I mean, I'm not going to take a job making $300,000 a year, and I can't do what the job requires me to do because I got to listen to somebody that don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm a baseball coach. I know baseball, right? And you know radio. Well, I'm not going to come in there and tell you what to do. I don't want you telling me what to do about baseball.
Right.
If you hire me, I want you to have complete confidence in me that, one, I'm going to do what's best for the university, number 1. Right? And everybody up under me going to have that same sentiment. And then number 2 is we're going to make sure that we include everybody and make everybody feel like, hey, they're a part of it. Because everybody wants to be a part of something, but you got to open that door up for them to be a part of it. They also got to understand who the boss is. And we have to, as in that position, I got to make the hard decision. I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to take everything in consideration. But at the end of the day, University G, I'm going to do what's best for the university and its athletic program.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, you have definitely got to come back with the boy. Got to come back.
Yeah, cool.
This has been, it's a total blast. Carlos James, the Golden Lion. Let's start calling you the Golden Lion. Is that all
yeah,
right?
Man.
Is that all right?
It's cool for now. That's where I'm at today.
Yes, sir. I understand.
I may not have a job, but it's all good.
It's going to be all right, man. Look, I want to give you some closing thoughts and comments at the time, sir. The floor is now yours.
Well, one, I appreciate you allowing me to come on and talk athletics, as a whole. That's been cool, and what you all that you do for the sport of baseball. I think a lot of people take that for granted. And a lot of it is just what we talked about. A lot of people want to do it their way and they don't really understand what it is and how it should be done. So I give you kudos. And then just the HBCU brand as a whole, I think we're getting better. We have some challenges that we have to face, but I would say to HBCU schools is we got to get out of that old saying is we got to do more with less. We got to get out of that. This is how it used to be done. It's a new day and a new time, and let's pull our graduates and our kids that are in school now and let them help us go into that next century and do things that appeal to them more. Because a lot of things, you go on HBCU campuses, and I go on them in strike schools, and it still look like we're in 1970.
Right.
The way things are going. Things are now moving fast, and allow our young people to be creative and help us to be able to create that fan engagement, create that atmosphere on campus, create a loyalty to your school. Like you talked about the paraphernalia. That's huge to me. Every time I see a kid at UAPB with somebody else's school stuff on, I'll give them a baseball hat or a T-shirt and take it from them.
Right.
Because that's what I wanted. I want at UAPB. I went to the University of Arkansas. Hell, they gave us stuff all the time, But at HBCUs, when you play football or baseball or basketball, you try to get an extra piece of gear or something. They want you to give blood or kidney. Where it should be when those kids get on campus, it should be a care package for them.
Yes,
Where you give them two warm-ups, 3-4 pairs of shoes and T-shirts and things like that. So, and the student body takes after the athletes. If the athletes are wearing all of University G stuff, then the student's gonna do the same. But then you got to have it readily available for them, in the bookstore, at the stadiums, and things like that, or online where they can go order it and it don't cost them an arm and a leg. Because that's just what it is. To create some type of branding. It's about branding.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, I still got the cap you gave me, man.
No doubt. Even, I'm going to cut you off, but like right now in the baseball facility, all our couches and things in the locker room, it got Golden Line emblems on. I mean, I got bar tables, stuff like that for if I chance to come upstairs and he want to watch the game from inside one of the offices. They got bar tables with the Golden Line head on it and the Golden Line head on the back of the seat. So to me, it's about branding all the time. It's putting that brand out there, and then after a while, you start to create loyalty to that brand.
Well, I tell you what, my man.
I probably gave away, we had the old Russell contract. This past homecoming last week, I promise you, I probably gave away 30 jerseys.
Wow.
To alumni. Just walk around and give it to them. Like, hey, here you go.
Right.
So now they got something that they can wear that has UAPB on.
There you go. It's all, like you said, it's all about maximizing.
Yeah.
So you keep doing your thing. I want you to let the folks know how can they listen to the Golden Lions on Sunday.
Okay, on Sunday right now it's going to be on 99.3 FM. The Beat is what they call it, and you can go to our website, UAPBlinesworld.com, and when you click on that, you'll see a thing say listen. It'll say listen to game live, and hopefully we'll get the live stream up, get that company back on board for this game because we're supposed to be out of town, and then you can watch it live as well. But you could also go to any one of our social media platforms, which is our Instagram, our TikTok, our alumni pages, and things like that. And when you click on there, it'll say listen, and then you can get the game there. And the game is at 3 p.m. and it's on Sunday. So hopefully, a lot of people, Cowboy fans and Houston fans in your area, if they're not playing at 3 o'clock, listen to the Golden Lions and Alabama A&M play.
I would definitely be tuned in, my man, and I want to wish you well. Would say travel safe travels to the stadium, because anything can happen there. And I thank you, and you said something. I want you to help me help you get the word out on UAPB, SWAC, because we call this show the SWAC Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And any of the coaches that that would like to talk and share, let them know we got an open door.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay.
Be cool.
He is
right.
Carlos James, a multi-talented man taking care of business for the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the SWAC Zone. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Prince here with you on the first episode of the SWAC Zone. Get it live. Check out the rebroadcast, everything else on our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Be sure to check that out. Subscribe. Become engaged, if you would, on everything that we got going on each and every day. Well, we'll have this thing, as they say, a little tighter on the next go-round. But I do thank you all for joining in with us. Thank our people who helped make this thing happen, Brother Ben and Brother Jack. And also want to thank our guest on today, Brother Carlos James. Man, got great ambition, and I believe he's going to get there with the right, as they say, tools and motivation to get things done. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I want to thank you guys so much for joining in with us on today. We're signing off for right now, but until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.